children that those Spanish decades that they've been involved in the cover-up. Well, today the council will do the right thing, but those at the Kremlin, well, we're live at County Hall in Nottingham. 3 years ago this week we shut them down with the allegations of historic child abuse. We've since had a 20-year sentence of Andreas Loggins and the public apology, but the thing is that the City Council, well, they're still in denial. I emailed their CEO of the City Council, Ian Currier, and the elected leader, John Collins, and asked them to acknowledge and apologise for the abuse of children that spans 6 decades that they've been involved in the cover-up. Well, today the council will do the right thing, but those at the Kremlin, at the City Council, well, they don't want to know. Well, we do, and the public need to know. The elected leader of the County Council will be here soon, and we'll be making that formal apology.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, let's have a nice day. Have you got anything you'd like to add, Mandy?
I'd just like to say hello to everybody, and I'm back after recent traumatic events, so I'll be staying with Mickey and we'll be sticking together all the way through this inquiry, as we've always done.
And do you have any comments to Mr. Collins or Mr. Currier?
Well, the time's nearly up for you guys. You thought you could get rid of us, you thought you could ignore us. Didn't happen, never going to happen. You're in deep shit now.
And we still hope that you have a nice day.
Bring on the inquiry.
Yeah, well,
bring it on.
And I'm still here.
Causing trouble.
And what about you, Miss Homer Trading?
I'm here making sure that everybody and justice will be done. Everybody.
I'm asked now to, before we move to the next item, I call on the leader to make a statement.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the Council. One of the greatest duties that can be bestowed on a person or an institution is the responsibility and safety of the upbringing of a child. This is not something that we in Nottingham County Council treat lightly. And I also know that today we are doing lots of good work to keep children safe and to ensure that they have every chance to reach their full potential in life. Sadly, there is a dreadful thing on the history of this council that we must neither refute nor excuse. Some children were entrusted to our care, and we failed them. We now know that they were subjected to horrible and heinous abuse that has left many damaged and scarred for life. They suffered at the hands of devious people who had malice in mind. The fact that this has happened is something that leaves me personally being deeply saddened and ashamed. While we can't eradicate the evil that lurks within our society, we need to take every step to keep this away from our children. This is a period that will be examined in great detail by the independent inquiry into the child's sexual abuse later this year in October, and we continue to fully engage in the process, with the next stage being the second preliminary hearing at the end of this month. The process of laying bare the evidence during this period is undoubtedly difficult for this organisation, but there is no question this is the right thing to do. Looking back at those times, it feels like a very different county to the one where we live and work now. The previous leader of this council, Councillor Alan Rose, rightly stood before this chamber in March 2016 and made an apology for any times that we have failed to adequately protect children in our care, and I applaud him for that. Given the ongoing work of the ICSA inquiry, we continue to understand the nature of our historical failures, and it would not be right nor not to reflect further. On behalf of this council and as its leader, I now want to express my deepest and heartfelt apology to all the survivors from this dark period in our history. My pledge today to survivors is as follows. You will have a voice and you will be heard. Whilst there will always be people who seek to harm and abuse children and young vulnerable people, we have a duty of care to ensure that we do everything in our power to stop this happening. I am confident that this is now in place. While we will never be able to make good what was clearly so wrong at the time, we must do everything to protect children in our care today. In so doing, we will tirelessly work to make better the mistakes of the past and ensure that they are never, never repeated. The survivors are rightly demanding truth and justice, and we will do everything in our power to make sure that this is delivered. Thank you, Chairman.
Introduce the report on the
Thank you, Chairman. The report that we have before us today on item 4 is self-explicit. This council is putting more money into this inquiry to make it quite sure that all of the evidence can be turned, all of the information can be turned, and we do have a proper inquiry, and we will be assisting that in every single way. Can I draw your attention to the recommendations? The recommendations are that the council report the action taken to the independent inquiry into child safety, and then a further update report will be brought to a future full council meeting. I would like to acknowledge, Chairman, the work that's been done, not only by this council, which I would expect that, but also by the survivors, particularly under the guidance of the committee who's in the council chamber today. They have worked as tirelessly with us to make sure that we do have a proper inquiry. And I would like you to all understand that we do applaud this. All of us need from time to time reminders that we have a duty to everybody. And I think this is a timely reminder. And I think that today you have shown that you are really going to help this country find the truth, which is important to us all, Chairman. So I move this motion today and ask my colleagues to say something.
Thank you. Councillor Adair.
Thank you, Chairman. I second the motion and will reserve the right to speak.
Thank you. Councillor Rowe.
Thank you, Chairman. Can I thank the Leader of the Council for the statement which she's made a few moments ago on behalf of all of us in this Council. I fully support the report and the recommendations in the report, and we will do all we can to ensure that a full and transparent inquiry is delivered. Thank you, Chairman.
We did it.
I'll get Steve just to
hello there. Right, have a quick word. Okay. Sorry? ITV News. Yeah. Normally Phil Brewster does it for us, but he's ill today.
So, do you want to state your name for me?
Yeah, my name is Mickey Summers.
Fantastic. So, your reaction to what KCUT's had to say today?
It was expected, but my reaction is that the city remains silent, and silence is not justice. As the councillor acknowledged, survivors have played a massive part in changing Nottingham. We created a survivors group that got support for survivors. You know, we spent almost 3 years creating a committee that has now got services that are fit for purpose. It's involved the NHS, the Crime Commissioner, various council members and social services. But to that end, you know, it's not over yet. The preliminary to the inquiry is on the 31st, and the inquiry starts in October. A damning indictment of 6 decades of historic child abuse. It's disgusting.
Can you talk me through a little bit your ordeal when it was that you encountered that?
I was abused in the 60s, and it's on record that my abuser is still alive. He was a prominent person at the head of social services, and CPS won't prosecute. It's not justice. The only hope that I have for justice is via the inquiry. I've got faith in Alexis J. She was the one that brought Nottingham Council down. Although they're two separate matters, she did the job that was needed to be done on Nottingham. And my only wish, and if it was my dying wish, would be that we see the end of Nottingham City Council.
Just finally, you know, the time it's taken for this to, you know, come to light, it's been a long time. What's that been like for you to live with that?
It's been a battle, and I take my hat off to Mandy Copeland and the retired Army Colonel David Hollis MBE. We formed an action group. I shut this council down 3 years ago this very week, and I let them know that I am not going away. I'm here to stay, and for quite a while I was the voice of those that were yet to be heard. Well, people's voices are going to be heard, and they're going to be heard on October 1st. So all I can say to those in the City Council is bring it on. I'm waiting for Alexis J to announce, hopefully, that the inquiry will be in Nottingham and not in London.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
I'm Mandy Copeland. I run Nottingham CSA Survivors Support. It's a group that we formed when I started a campaign, when high profile Mickey Summers came to stay with me. I helped research and looked into records and find there were failings, and the more I looked into things, I knew that there was something seriously wrong with what was happening. The apology is welcome today. Any apologies are welcome, because it's about now we've got to let the inquiry deal with the past, and that will happen. It'll be a thorough inquiry, but also we've got to change the future now, and hopefully people will not shut survivors down no more and start and listen to us. And there's you know, there's a stigma around child sexual abuse, you know, not to speak out and be quiet, and that's what perpetrators want. So we're now empowering people that you must speak out. It's not acceptable in today's society, and, you know, bringing new change, a new direction, and survivors involved in that direction in our city.
How much do you think this means to survivors? You know, finally their voice is being heard.
It's been a long time coming, and I wish that it had happened a bit earlier, because it would have saved a lot of trauma for a lot of people. We're still in early stages of people having to deal with, you know, records and things like that they're still trying to place and find. So there still is problems, but at least we're being listened to now. So I still think we've got a way to go, but also they still have to, and they've got to identify there's still a way to go, but at least we're getting more in the services now of support, and as we've just heard inside, there's going to be more money put into this to support those people, because there's been a lot of suicides in this. In all the 3 years I've been campaigning, I've lost 3 survivors, and that's been out of my own pocket, working out my own pocket, and in the community by myself, but also with the group, and making other survivors come on board and encouraging other survivors. So it's like more of a community thing now, my group is, and we try and signpost people to the services that are now being put into place. And I say to people, if you are struggling with any issues, come forward. My name's Mandy Copeland. I run a group called Nottingham CSA. David Hollis is like my chair. He's supported us through making change, and we'd like to get more people from ethnic minorities to come forward as well, because we know it goes through all walks of life. This does in all, same as I said, all cultures. And the thing to empower people is to speak out. Do not be silenced. Silence isn't justice. And if you're not getting justice, we like to take the issues up with people if we feel as though it's still being failed. And that's the only way we're going to make changes.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Just focusing on rolling.
Amazing.
So it's
amazing.
Josephine
Armour trading.
Armour trading,
Yeah.
as in the singer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. So Josie, first of all, tell us what was going through your mind when you heard K-Cuts utter those words.
Utter relief that today they've finally heard our voices. I've been speaking from the age of 5, trying to undo the abuse within, not only in my family, but in society, not even society.
Tell us about your history, your involvement.
My history was, I found the Nottingham CSA, because we're trying to get our papers unsolved, or released, so that we can find out who we are. We don't know who we are, and we suffered abuse, but we couldn't talk about it. No, we couldn't tell nobody.
Where were you?
I was in Beechwood.
You were in Beechwood?
Yeah, in and out of care until I was 19 years old. Yeah.
And does this go some way to healing the wounds?
It's amazing. Now, the plaster's off, you know, and as a child I can remember picking the crust. And that's how I feel. I feel like the crust is off and now we can look at the healing process. Yeah, yeah.
And are you convinced that there's nobody in this building behind us that still works here that knew what was going on in those times?
Say that again.
Are you content that there's nobody still working in this building behind us who was there at that time and knew what was going on?
Well, I can't see it. I can't see it. And I can't say I'm convinced because I know that there was so many years being hidden. So I can't say that. Yeah.
But you're happy that...
I'm happy that they're now addressing it and that they've actually admitted that there were child abuse. You know, for people what child do you know can voice what's going on when they needed these people, they needed these structures, and there wasn't there.
You've had to wait how long?
55
years for this moment.
Yeah.
It's a long time. Too long?
Too long. Too long. I was told children are to be seen and not heard.
But now you've been
Now
heard.
I've been heard. A long, long time. Now not getting, what is it? Applause.
Josie, thank you ever so much for talking to us. Appreciate it. All the very best. Thank you.
It was amazing.
Dennis Healy. World events do not occur by accident. They are made to happen, whether it is to do with national issues or commerce, and most of them are staged and managed by those who hold the purse strings.